I would like to invite you to bring your attention and greet those who have joined us since the beginning. We have 4 folks at IIMC. It's good to see everyone. And Pante Sutasoma, welcome, good to see you. It is late evening for you now, but not too bad, not too bad. Today, I wanted to continue. Tom, good to see you. I wanted to continue the roadway that has been paved for us by the Buddha as we move from common lay life right through to liberation. For the last several weeks, I've been talking about developing the 5 faculties so that time by time, breath by breath, step by step, we are deepening more profoundly our faith or confidence in the Buddha, our concentration, our mindfulness, our energy and effort, and our developing wisdom. And as I indicated to you, it's our job as practitioners to begin to balance out these 5 faculties as they increase in power. As they increase, there's another highway going even faster towards your own enlightenment and freedom. This is coming directly out of the suttas, out of the Suddhimagga. These are referred to as the 7 factors of enlightenment. As the faculties strengthen and get more balanced, there is this second step. There are 7 parts to it. Mindfulness, investigation of reality, energy, rapture, tranquility, concentration, equanimity. When I was working on these with Ajahn Chali, I asked him, will all practitioners experience these faculties and factors of enlightenment? His response was yes, as long as the practitioner is practicing vipassana. So whether you have or have not experienced these, understand that as long as you continue your practice, these will eventually fruit and flower, develop, strengthen, and balance. At all levels of practice, from even the beginner to wherever you are in your practice, in some ways, they are all present, but at different levels of development. And when these factors of enlightenment are fully realized and developed, then they're considered to be the factors of enlightenment, bringing you right to the entrance to your own enlightenment, the first stages of enlightenment. And as long as you are practicing the four foundations of mindfulness, all of these factors are automatically and fully developed. You will need to note bodily sensations, the mind and thought activity, feelings of all kinds, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, and consciousness. These cannot be realized by study, by this talk, by listening and reading, or even thinking about them. Only through practice of vipassana can one realize these factors of enlightenment. I'd like to go into some detail on these factors of enlightenment so you can begin to see how profoundly we need to change what we're doing in our practice. And Pete, just because this is a rather long talk and it's going to be broken into parts, would you signal me at 15 minutes or so? Don't want to go over long. Thank you. Mindfulness is the very first factor. It must be active and confronting of the four objects of meditation, either in the body, in the feelings, in your mind objects. Passive observation does not achieve the fullness of the factors. Just as today, Wayne was telling me that when he sits down to practice, he suddenly gets an unusual sensation in his throat. And as he watches it and needs to cough, that's exactly what his body is telling him to observe. And so he's practicing vipassana by seeing that very clear signal in his body. Our mindfulness must jump from one object and explore that object just as he does. And it needs to be penetrative. Now that's an interesting active way of using our mindfulness, to see deeply into whatever is occurring. And we must have enough concentration to hold your mindfulness onto whatever object you are observing and not allow it to slip away. Just see it fully. You want to see the rising and falling of whatever has arisen. You want to see the middle, the beginning if you can, the middle of it, and as it fades away. You can even observe and note the sensation and temperature of your breath as it is leaving your body and entering your body. We are, in the Mahasi technique, observing the rise and fall of the abdomen in the breath. So you can see the beginnings of the breath with the gentle rise of that abdomen right till the top of the breath and the eventual falling away. Every time I have presented this to practitioners to watch the breath extremely closely, everyone seems to indicate, oh yes, I can observe this. And yet, I wonder if in fact you are seeing the beginning of the breath. Are you seeing the pause between the top of the breath and the beginning of the fall of the breath? And down at the bottom of the breath, are you actually seeing that space between the letting go of the breath and the need of the body to breathe again? Are you really seeing that? This is the kind of penetrative mindfulness that the factors of enlightenment are asking you to do. You want to pay attention whether your mindfulness and concentration is slipping away even in the slightest bit. Because if it does not slip away, then the defilements of wanting, not wanting, and neutral feelings don't even arise. You are so busy observing closely and deeply that it doesn't happen. You don't see that because your mind is busy with the noting. It took me quite some time in my practice to realize that anytime I can be so fully present with the objects of meditation at 100%, not 99%, but so fully concentrated and so fully mindful that what I am really seeing here is a moment of 100% being free of greed, of hatred, and delusion. And we're taught over and over again that it's craving that keeps us locked into rebirth. And the only way to get free of this is by our efforts of seeing things fully at 100% level, not at 99% level. We're noting continuously, moment by moment. And it's 15 minutes already. Okay. I thank you, Pete.
15 minutes since I rang the bell, Ben. But I think you're giving a great talk, and I'd like to hear a little bit more.
No, you're going to hear a lot more. It is my intention to go through this very carefully because so many of us have practiced for years and have the ability to go far beyond where you are now. and I am, this is my defilement. I am anxious for you, for all of you, to realize your potential in this practice. So I will stop here, asking you to consciously, until we meet again, either Wednesday or on Saturday, to be assertive in your mindfulness. We are in, yes, homeworkling, 100%, so that each breath in practice and out of practice, you get the sensation, the knowing that you are fully present. This takes considerable effort on your part to bring yourself back to mindfulness, full mindfulness, continuously. And I was having a conversation sometime this week with a person saying, well, it seems like this noting is pulling me away from my thinking. And that's exactly correct. This is a technique to begin to see that there is way more than the thinking mind that we're dealing with in the 4 foundations of mindfulness. It's a technique to help you realize your own freedom. And I'll stop right there. Pete, you've had a very busy week serving your clients and serving the Damma women.
Well, you know, we're all always busy doing something.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But
I wanted you to, if you were able to come up with some techniques this week.
Yeah, you know, I have a couple of I'll throw a couple things at you. First of all, I would say something, as my week's been busy, that and this was something Ben told me to watch out for, and Brian has told me to watch out for, and I got busy, and I've been enjoying the AM practice and the Wednesday practice and the Saturday practice and all the things that we can engage in. But sooner or later, you got to ask yourself, when is it time for you to just go practice? You know, these are great things, but at some point, last Saturday, the time I got busy and pulled away, my mindfulness cued me and said, hey, it's time for you to go back to your cushion in your room where you were sitting before you ever did any of this, and spend a little time on your own practice. So what I bring to that is, first, the advice of seek your own practice, but then also, if you get a sense, when your mindfulness cues you and says, hey, you should go sit down for a little while, or you should take a few breaths, hear that mindfulness and try to listen for that during your week when you see things cue you and say it's time for you to go practice. And one thing that you can do, if you're, as kind of a reminder, and this is a trick I take from Jan Chosenbay's book, How to Train a Wild Elephant, which is full of little practices and how we can see them. This one is, put a Band-Aid on your non-dominant hand. And every time that comes into your view, take a moment and pay attention to whatever you're doing right then. So it's just a Band-Aid, it's just on your non-dominant hand, but what you'll find is periodically it'll just catch your view and remind you, like hearing a bell or any other thing, to come back to what are you actually doing in that moment. So those are my 2 quick practice tips for this week.
Oh, that's great. I've never heard of that technique, but that's excellent way of remembering. Tom, Brian, would you please lead us in a metta?
Ajahn Brian, your microphone is muted.
How's that?
That's better.
Okay. It was going to be a lip reading opportunity. May we abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may we maintain well-being in ourselves. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortunes they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs.
So the end of this metta is so poignant. It talks directly about the power of intention. This is how you grow. You intend to grow, develop, and achieve your own freedom. Would someone at IIMC please lead us in paying respects to the Buddha, the Damma, and the Sangha? Your microphone is off. There we go.
All
Yep, there's sound there.
Thank you, Yi.
right. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภควาพุทธังภควันตังอภิวาเทมิ สวากขาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ